hours, this is where we will decide our first finalist.
Who is losing channel points today? What do we think?
I have not lost channel points, but that's because I lost them all before the event.
I think most people lost a lot of their channel points during the group stages. You look at some of the upsets we had. We had Parabellum, Akers in there, C9, Cyclops. Matches that nobody expected. Utter mayhem. Clubhouse is where we head. And, well, right, okay. So, people who may have not have watched NIP throughout the course of the tournament, Monty is an operator they have favored quite a bit. Whenever the going gets tough, the tough gets a Monty. And that has been a great operator to feed information to NIP, and MIBR respecting that. And the double shield ban.
That's huge. We've spoken previously about we've dubbed it many things. We've called it the Julio effect. We've called it the Monty effect. We initially called it the Panic Monty pick because that's what it seemed to be. And then it was something that we saw NIP bring out when they were fighting from ahead. It is a strategy that they employ. Julio is an exceptionally skilled shield player. He will play both Monty and he will play Clash. We saw him play Clash earlier on Consulate. Now, here on this map of Clubhouse, why does it warrant the ban? Well, it's quite simple. Julio is able to be a nightmare on that Monty. He's able to gather so much information for his team to work from. NIP, historically, throughout the tournament and throughout today, have worked so well off the back of information, coordinating so many pieces of utility in conjunction with each other to get the job done, to gain those frags, to gain that ground. If you remove that away from NIP here and now, it's got to leave them at a bit of a disadvantage.
Monty's a great operator for Clubhouse, depending on what attack you want to go for. Let's say we're looking at basement and it's a kitchen dirt attack. Dirt is a very difficult area for attackers to gain control of. Monty makes it very easy. Yeah, that information be able to push down. Nobody can really stop him beside a smoke. We then look at Cash Room, for example. The rafters, again, a very important area that the attackers have to win. But, like I said, very difficult. Monty just nullifies all of those issues out the window.
It certainly does. MIBR are going to be starting off here on the attack. They have everything at their disposal to do so. With the way that the bans have gone, we have actually seen all of the hard breaches here survive, which isn't too unusual in this day and age for Clubhouse, but MIBR, it's something that they're going to double down on. They're going to bring not only the Maverick and the Hibana, but also the Thermite as well. Now, Thermite does have smokes, so that's something that we've seen MIBR make good use of as well, not only for getting the plant down, but for cutting off important rotations and important lines of sight.
MIBR, what take will they attempt? They have the triple hard breach, which is something that we don't see all too often, but it is a great idea to go for. Clubhouse is the map out of every single map in the pool that relies on the hard breach the most, so having as much as you can is going to be a great thing for them. You can open up all the hatches, the triple wall and church if you want to go for it. Maverick is there if there is a kite on board, which there will be in the form of Julio. He's looking to trick onto that Mo hatch. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but like I said, Maverick is going to be there to neutralize that.
Yeah, it isn't going to matter too much as Raps gets himself on it and starts going to work, opening up that memorial hatch. Fortunately for Julio, he actually lost both of his Electroclaws there. Not sure if he's going to maybe try and recover one, but the Electroclaw on the hatch will be destroyed as the hatch is broken.
Pretty standard for MIBR. You will notice that this bomb site is one of the most slowest played rounds anywhere in Siege. It takes at least 2 minutes, maybe even more, for teams to set up, have everything open, their angles, their hatches, their walls, their dirt tunnel control, even blue as well. Everything needs to be open. Give yourself as many opportunities as you can to execute onto this bomb site, because it is a tough one. NIP are set up in great positions to refrag off each other, and something that they did extremely well on Coastline. Let's see if it follows them into Clubhouse.
It's shaping up to be a good old classic bloodbath in the final few moments, as we do see some shots exchanged there, as Kamikaze is going to lose a couple of points of health. Frag grenades now being tossed down through the hatch by Raps as he looks to try and find some success and route the player out of Generator. Philippox will drone that and confirm it now to be clear. But the angle is still being held. An engagement on the main stairs. Muzi will take down Reduct. Reduct didn't have sufficient intel there. So the drones have dwindled for MIBR and they've not been able to actively make use of that information. It's looking a little bit scary for them here. It's looking like we could be seeing a kitchen hatch drop, and with Muzi directly underneath it, you better know he's going to take advantage of it. He finds himself one, doesn't manage to find himself a second yet as the push comes in from over behind blue, and that will be successful for MIBR, so much so that it is now a 2 versus 2. Psycho has the pistol in hand, but it is not going to be enough. Philippox, he's looking to clutch out yet again and will do so. 2 quick kills to finish things off. The timer demo, it was hitting 1 second.
You talked about Wild West. Inside a coastline, it's high noon as the pistol shots rattle off for MIBR. Philippox again. This guy is so good under stress. There he is. Come on, Bodega. Come on.
Bodega got a little bit quiet over on coastline as things weren't all going MIBR's way, but you can see him fired up and ready to back his team here on Clubhouse vocally again. We're going to need the replays here, Demo, because that final kill would have been a thing of beauty. Muzi played that exceptionally well. I particularly liked how the player didn't continue to drop the hatch. The push came in there from that blue side, and it was almost as if NIP just got caught a little bit flat-footed there. The engagements were just too thick and too fast. This is going to be that final couple of kills there from Philippox. We're going to get both angles from it. You can see the time. It's so low. Incredible stuff there from Philippox. Another clutch.
Just the confidence to have the pistol out and just have that adrenaline. We've seen many a times a player finds the kill, is on the hot seat, and then swings and doesn't land a kill, and it costs the team the round. I mean, it was a big risk for Philippox, but at least he can say he made it count. It worked for him. So all credit where it is due to this man. Again, stepping up big time for his side. NIP. A little bit hard done. They thought they had it. They thought they were in great positions, wasted the time well, but was it enough?
MIBR almost saying, you know, you guys like playing around with the final few seconds as well. Yeah, we can do that too, and we're going to just prove it there inside of round number 1. Philippox coming out of that one with a 4K. Certainly going to do something to boost the confidence here from MIBR, as rounds are going to need to be found here on the attack. Now, Reduct's going to fall again, this time before he's been able to get a lot of important tasks done. It's going to be a big blow here, but good news for MIBR is they've got plenty of other hard destruction to fall back onto. They still have Fowls with the exothermic charges, and they still have Raps with Maverick's blowtorch. The biggest problem that I can see here, we're going to actually get a replay of the kill, as it was actually a run out there. Some hella aggression being shown by Psycho. Obviously got some Valkyrie cameras that have given him some information. Something we've proven to be so important throughout most of these games, and something that you can't really afford to give NIP is that Valkyrie. Of course, the clash kind of comes at the detriment of unleashing Psycho on Valk.
And that's a staple operator as well for Psycho. That's the operator that we see the best out of him. NIP will opt for a roam game this time around, so they're going to try and take the fight to MIBR. And as we've seen, they've done that. Psycho with an early kill, an important one onto the Habana. Hard breacher down. But coming back to the point I made earlier in the first round, MIBR have plenty of hard breach still left, ready to move in. NIP will have a 2 versus 2 tag team battle inside a dirt. It'll be the Fermi and Maverick up against the Smoke and Valkyrie. But I think that the Smoke is winning in this circumstance. Has the Toxic Babe. There goes the nade, but it's not going to be able to ricochet well enough. And Kamikaze ready to play with fire, but he gets shot down. Psycho, can he have the refrag? Him and Fowls having a bit of a battle, but no, it's not going to be the case. He falls back. MIBR, they lose yet again another engagement, but they are inside the bomb site. Lucan has made a push down blue, but he himself gets shot down. Philippox is trying to give the cover. He's trying to fight back and help his teammate. Can he find another kill? Yes, he can. No, he doesn't. He actually misses that one. Fowls goes massive. A triple kill for him in the round, but the long angle from Julio is enough to finish off Philippox. And now Pino, can he flank through blue? Can he nail this kill onto Fowls? A 1 versus 2, and yes, they can. NIP able to salvage the round. Again, another close call, but NIP able to stand tall.
And that's what happens when you lose the Hibana as the opening death. you're then in a very difficult position to get that kitchen hatch open, and we saw that demonstrated with, you know, a bit of a brute force attempt through tunnel. That wasn't something that was going to be so reliable. Fouls, unfortunately, hitting the team kill as well. Not something that you want to see. Probably going to get a replay of it here and now. You can see him there just taking out Raps. It's always going to be a danger in that sort of a circumstance, and when it comes down to scrappy gunplay on the site, you really do need that sort of an advantage. Pino's played that beautifully, just finding an alternate angle. The smoke canister, a great little play, a good little attempt there, but just not enough from Fouls. Reduct dying early, kitchen hatch remaining hard.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. It's so difficult to get it open with Maverick. You can't afford to play on that soft floor. You're going to get naded, you're going to get C4'd, you're going to get shot. You cannot use your exothermic charges on it. They're going to get impact tricked off. It's so difficult. That's why Hibana is being brought here, because you can choose how many pellets you want to shoot.
2x2.
Time.
Yeah.
2x2, bait out all the impacts. Everyone could have an impact. It isn't going to matter. You're going to be able to get the hatch open.
Yeah, that TK. I mean, I kind of do feel a little bit sorry for Raps in that scenario. I mean, he literally tanked a shotgun blast, which doesn't happen all too often, and he still ends up dying. He's probably thinking, wow, I've just tanked a gun that is, you know, destructor in those kind of CQB elements. So, yeah, unfortunate. Would have made a difference? Yeah. Who can tell? Still think, even if that kill had happened, I still think NIP were in a good spot, though.
NIP knew exactly where the push was coming from. That was the biggest problem there, I think, from MIBR. They were left just wanting a couple more angles to play with. And it all just looked a little bit rushed. I think they'd made a quick decision off the back of losing the Hibana to say, you know what, we've probably just got to push this and try and take a little bit of an element of surprise. But alas, we changed sites now as things are all level at 1 round apiece. We're going to see CCTV room and cache be defended here by NIP. Excuse me.
Haven't seen this yet from NIP. This is now the 3rd round as we move into that top floor bomb site. Well, being opened up very early on is a great thing for MIBR. It gives them now that immediate pressure. It splits the bomb site in 2. Anyone who's stuck in garage will now be stuck in garage, and anyone stuck inside of cache will now be stuck in cache. There is no rotations available for NIP. So NIP have to try and fight as hard as they can, and this is where it comes down to the rotations, and Psycho with a double kill. Muzi also jumps onto 1, and MIBR were in a great position, and they've all just been slaughtered at the foot of the staircase. What a round from NIP! Look at that! Look at the emotion! Give it the big one!
You can afford to give it the big one when you're getting the kills in that sort of a fashion. MIBR dropping like flies there.
Just lined them up, firing squad.
So fired up after that round win. It all happened extremely quickly, and it was looking good for MIBR. They had the breach open. They had a couple of things going for them. We had a player, Lukid, at the bottom of those cache stairs, destroying the Belushi bouncy. All these things are good little ticks that you want to put in the tick list checkbox that is attacking this map. But it wasn't enough. They hadn't accounted for that aggression. They hadn't accounted for the way that those kills were going to come on through. As we move now into round number 4, it's going to force NIP to change. Fortunately, we're going to get a look at how this all went down. Julio with a C4 to open things up. Garage control. Unforgivable stuff there, really, now that you see the full picture of how it really played out. You cannot afford to be ignoring Garage to that severity.
Garage is a big pinnacle point in that setup for NIP. It gives them that rotation down into the lounge, and we know they're a team that favor a C4 from below. How many times have we seen a C4 uproot everything that attackers have been able to gain in that bomb site? So NIP playing the way that I think we expected, but MIBR didn't get the message.
We're going to see Frost brought from Julio this time as he deploys some of those Frost mats.
What mats?
Common windows.
What mats?
The Pog mats demo.
There you go. Come on.
I'll let you have this one.
I'll break you. I will break you one day, and you will be using that Pog mat just in your vocab. So it's nothing new to you.
I mean, they do win rounds.
They do, yes.
So crucial.
Do you know why they win rounds? Because they're Pog.
I mean, I thought it was because players are in ADS and they've got a lot of other things to worry about aside from, you know, looking down at every single window they jump through to pre-fire a Frost map. But if you say that it's because they're Pog, then maybe that is what it is. Fal's going to look to try and open up here onto Jacuzzi. Usually a good place to start when attacking gym and bedroom. The wall into bathroom will be caded as well. I think a Selma, yeah. Selma just got tossed out there by Reduct.
Jumping the gun.
It's going to take a little bit more than that to be able to get on in. NIP are not going to give you that much free access onto Bathroom.
Yeah, the way that this bomb site kind of sets up with the whole conjunction of Bathroom and Jacuzzi is it's like a doubled wall, isn't it? You have the first wave and then you have the second wave you need to get through. And quite rightly so, NIP have actually hunkered down on their second wave of reinforcements compared to their first, mostly because it's very difficult to actually eliminate the Kaid charge inside of Bathroom.
Well, especially when you've got the Wamai playing there just inside a Bathroom as well, the discs that generate over time, the magnets, there is already a magnet at the top of the wall. You can just see it on the right of the screen there as the reload was coming in. And that's going to stop any projectiles from being thrown through. It's going to make it very difficult now to get rid of that Kaid Electric Claw, so much so that Pino is actually going to be downstairs inside of Dirt, just looking for a bit of an alternate angle. 2 magnets now in place, but there will be no more, as Reduct does find Psycho as the opening kill inside of this round.
Look at Luca, though. He's in a great position to cover off anyone trying to move in towards Jim. Julio has been able to shut down the diffuse. Carrier Raps, though, has responded with a kill onto Julio. And NIP Kamikaze pushing for his own smoke, able to eliminate Lukid. Oh, and a great shot from Kamikaze! What a play from the smoke! Muzi also finds another, and Philippe Pox, the man for MIBR, has it all to do. Diffuser cold inside of Jim. Can he pull this one off, Ollie?
He's got a lot of work to do here, but we've seen Philippe Pox clutch multiple rounds so far today. He's going to choose to use his lifeline, see if he can gather any information. He does have drones available to him, but he doesn't have a lot of time. 35 seconds are all that he's got to work with, and conscious of these frost mats, he needs to try and make this play perfectly. Looking to push it on through construction now, still desperately pre-aiming and searching out every conceivable angle. He's going to be going up against Muzi and Kamikaze here. And they've set themselves up a nice little crossfire in the site. They know where the diffuser is. 15 seconds are all that lie before NIP and another round here, and Philippe Pox has to be a difference maker. He's going to push on in now into Bathroom, get himself in the engagement. The pre-fire from Muzi, it was just a little bit too good as NIP continue their storm here on defense.
Kamikaze. That's all I have to say. The player in NIP who, out of the 5, probably doesn't get hyped up compared to the other 4. Mostly because his operators that he play, they're not the best operators. It's the operators that nobody wants to play. Your Thermites, your Smokes, your support operators. What he has done is save that round for NIP. MIBR were in a perfect scenario. They found their 2 kills. They were now able to move in and go for that plant. But that player out there, you have to give him credit. He has single-handedly won that round for NIP.
It's no surprise to see and know that MIBR have used now to take their tactical time out. It started at the start of those replays, so we're probably going to be coming nearly to the end of it, but it's an opportunity for Bodega to have a chat and to figure out what exactly it is that's going wrong. You don't want to be going much further down than a 3-3 or a 4-2 split here on your attacks. There's so much option available on Clubhouse in this day and age to try and gain an advantage as an attacker. The change to Hibana is one that I always come back to as being crucial, because the hatches and that Church and Arsenal hold is not what it used to be. With Hibana now being able to dictate how many pellets are shot out, the very fact that there are 3 hard breaches available here for the attackers, this is not so defender-sided. You cannot afford to be giving away so many rounds. So it's time to stop the rot for MIBR. They need to get themselves in and to come away with a good couple of rounds here.
NIP leading 3-1 as we're now going to have a bit of a tech pause. Again, apologies for the delay. I'll try and fix that as quick as we can for everyone. One thing that I want to mention as well, Ollie, for NIP. We talked about how their attacks deal with on the console. We talked about how their attacks are dealt with in terms of coastline as well. This is a much better map, I think, for NIP and their attacking playstyle. I think NIP, they suit the slower pace maps. We look at Villa, which has been a map that we've kind of highlighted. It's not an easy map for them, but they still win it nonetheless. Clubhouse, as soon as they get on the attacks, they have a lot of time to work with, which I think is going to be the big bonus for them.
I think it really comes down to how impactful that Monty ban's going to be for them. We haven't really seen Monty be played too much so far by Julio today. And I don't know if that's because they've not been in a position where they need it, if they've been playing maps where they don't like to bring it, but we've seen Julio play Monty here on Clubhouse many times before, and we know that it's something that they're going to try and make a use of. So the very fact that that is banned, it kind of puts a little bit of pressure back onto NIP, and it says, you've got to come out of your defensive phase pretty favourably. You don't want to be coming down at a 3-3 split. You want to be coming down at that 5-1-4-2 because you don't have your usual suspects to try and lean into to be able to pick up those rounds when the going gets tough. Personally, I don't see NIP storming away with this once they get themselves onto the attack. I think that this game is going to be won or lost for them depending on how many rounds they're able to gain on the defense here, because we've seen the statistics. They've got a dreadfully low attacking win percentage. That isn't something that's going to fly. You need to try and up those numbers. For the side of MIBR, they're in a pretty crucial spot as well. They've come in strong in map 1, and then all the momentum has been sucked out of them inside of that map 2, and now personally, I don't think at the start of map 1 and as the way that we saw that going down, we thought that we were even going to get to this point.
Yeah. Just looking at the back of Bodega's jersey, it says, the back of it, it's us versus the rest of the world. I wonder if TSM on their back it says it's us versus the rest of LATAM.
Maybe needs reprinting that one, doesn't it?
Maybe. Get the Sharpie out. Get you around to TSM. Get the back signed. Get it on. TSM, hey, they have a lot to do as well. That's a team we'll see play later on after this game finishes. That's a match you do not want to miss. TSM versus Liquid. That seems like a grand final in itself, but it's actually decide who is fourth and who moves into that lower bracket final.
We're blessed with the games today. We're going to be jumping back into this one. MIBR versus NIP, currently 1 map apiece. This is for all the marbles. This is to decide who goes into the grand final tomorrow with a 1 map advantage into the best of 5. It is by no means the end of the road for the loser, though. They still are going to be in with a chance. But that 1 map advantage, it is so, so crucial.
It is. NIP, you look at them last year, whenever they played against SSG, who had the map advantage? Oh, SSG. Oh, who won? SSG. It's there. It shows the evidence that with that map advantage, it's very rare a team will come back and win.
It is made increasingly more difficult, and NIP, they're not going to want to squander that opportunity again. They're going to want to try and get themselves into that position on the favourable side this time. And so far, with the way that they're playing on Clubhouse, it looks as though it could come to fruition. We just need to see them finish out as strongly as they started. We did have a slightly extended break there because we did need to rehost the lobby after the tactical timeout from MIBR. So there has been a good deal of time for these players to discuss and to figure out how they would like to now move forward.
MIBR, as quick as they can into the building, set up their drone work. And there will have to be a great deal of that. A roam game coming out from NIP. Pino very quickly falls off. Have not reinforced the blue hatch, which is a bit of a surprise, giving immediate control to MIBR. But they have decided to use those reinforcements above. They've reinforced off the cache wall, and Files will have to use a exothermic charge to get himself in and create that opening. But NIP happy enough just to fall off. As soon as things start to get open, NIP just let them have it. Stare to waste some time, waste some utility, and try and not give away themselves to MIBR.
They're looking for a pick, they're looking for some time, they're not looking to really set the world on fire with this roam game. It is all about wasting MIBR's precious time here on the attack and soaking up a lot of those drones. We haven't seen MIBR do great with their drone economy. Got 6 at the halfway point in the round. They're not going to need a drone for that kill, though, as Reduk finds Muzi, instantly traded out there by Psycho, as he's actually gone back up the stairs. I don't think that Raps is going to be aware of that one. He's looking now to open up an angle with the nade. Julio, he's going to be given a chance here, but for Leapox, he's been on fire all series, and he continues his form now.
That's a great pick. Gives that man advantage over to MIBR, but Ollie, they've lost that Habana again. The operator that you highlighted, there is still an impact as well from Psycho, so them trying to open up the hatch via the Thermite charge, it's not going to work. It's going to be impact tricked, and as we know, he already used one of those above, so he has 1 left, and he has to make it count. I wonder, will he actually try and use it on the kitchen hatch, and is Psycho in a position to deny that?
I mean, Psycho could be in a position just to out-and-out challenge it as he looks to make his way up main stairs, but instead thinks better of it. Could get caught out on the vertical here, as Lukid will be holding that from above. Now would be as good a time as any for Fowls to get himself in and actually try and open up that hatch. Kamikaze feeling the pinch from Blue, but it's going to be a Phantom and a Ghost because there is nobody directly in there at the moment. The player instead going to be playing on the hatch and a little bit further down in towards Blue. As time continues to tick, we're at the 30-second mark now. Raps has chosen to make his way in through Dirt Tunnel. A late rotate from there can often prove worth in these dying few moments, as players seldom actually challenge onto there as the round does progress. Lukid gets caught out there by a Goo Mine at the bottom of main, and that's going to give the game away. It allows Kamikaze to generate a line of sight. The kills start to trade, but Psycho finds himself too. He's now on for a triple. Kamikaze picks up Lukid, and it's all down to Felipox. He's clutched many rounds before. Can he clutch this one? Finds one onto Psycho. 2 seconds left. We've been here before, Demo, but I don't think it's going to happen again, as NIP, they take the round.
Even with the man advantage, MIBR still struggling because they don't have that kitchen hatch open because they lost the Habana again. One crucial mistake is losing the necessity operator, and it just all falls apart.
It was there for the taking in that round. Psycho wasn't laser focused on impact tricking that hatch.
No, he didn't care.
He didn't care.
No.
That hatch could have been open. The floor wasn't even open. It would have been very easy to get on in there and at least try and give it a go, because the writing was on the wall really for how that round was going to play out. As soon as you know that that hatch isn't getting opened and that there isn't a substantial push coming down Memorial Hatch and onto the church wall, a blue and a tunnel push is not sufficient here.
And especially with the man advantage, we've talked about in depth, if you're an attacking side and you have that one single man over your team, that guy usually is the bane of the existence for the defense. They just started grouping up. I would have loved to have personally seen an Ash rush, you know, through the Ash wall right into armor. I think that would have caused NIP a lot of issues, but they didn't go for it. I think that I have to respect the push from Dirt. I think that was a good idea, but it wasn't well timed enough.
It's not enough on its own. The Goo Mines did a lot on those main stairs as well. Luka got caught out in the Goo Mine.
Gave them information as well, which I think's good, yeah.
Yeah, it gave Kamikaze the opportunity to open up the Ash Rush spot and immediately sort of counter that. Bit of a struggle bus at the moment for MIBR. They desperately want to come out of here at 2-4. As a 1-5 would start to look a little bit dire and
yeah, scream.
Really leave the door wide open for NIP just to storm and take this entire map, and with it, the series. MIBR are now focused on a different site, and they're going to be looking toward CCTV room and cache.
This series so far for me, Ollie, has been the map that has really defined NIP over the course of the competition. I thought, personally, every single map they played, they struggled, but they still pulled off these wins. You know, they weren't the strongest, they weren't the flashiest, they gave us heart attacks every single round. They were a team that just refused to lose, even though it looked for a long time that they should have. You know, I'm afraid whenever these 5 players from NIP get a little bit older and, you know, they're ready to move on into the next phase of life, the Grim Reaper is going to come and NIP is going to say, no, we're not ready to go yet. We're not leaving. We don't know what losing is. They'll live forever, Ollie. They refuse to give up, and they're pushing on, and they're doing extremely well here in Clubhouse. Their best performance for me by far.
It really is. They're a tournament team, and it's something we've said about them multiple times, is that they really come alive inside of a best of 3 when they're given that opportunity to go to multiple maps. It's never easy, it's never pretty, but often they will get the job done, and so far they're proving that to be true here on Club. This defense is going to be a good measure, I think, of how well this game is going to go for them, and if MIBR have got what it takes to fight back just a little bit.
MIBR will be attacking in from that Jacuzzi breach, and there's a few players scattered around from NIP actually challenging on to these angles. Pino has to be careful. That hatch being open is definitely an area that we see targeted quite a lot, but Julio in a great position, and because they still have a bit of aggression going on in the actual bomb site, it kind of scares away MIBR from peeking the windows. Talking about peeking, a quick peek in towards Garage is enough for Redact to eliminate Muzi, but Psycho coming from behind, can he pull off another great flank? He was brilliant in this position the last time, and barely misses out on a kill, but that's good information, realizing that the man has had to drop in towards Oil Pit, and now he's ready for this challenge.
Psycho did a lot of damage there from that exact same location. It's getting drone now on these blue stairs. He's in a bit of a do or die. He has to choose to either aggress or push on back, but he's being held from multiple angles. But time is not on the attacker's side here. They cannot afford to give these frags away. Psycho, despite being flashed there with the lifeline, will find the kill over onto Reduct. Yet again, one of the opening deaths on the side of MIBR. Toxic Babe canisters now going to slow the roll as Fowls has to push on into sight. There's only 10 seconds left. The C4 is going to see him dead and gone as Lukid's going to fall as well to a headshot. Raps recovers the diffuser. The diffuser is a death trap. Everybody that had hold of that thing died.
Psycho, out of nowhere, picks up the kills that are needed. He played insane. Did you see the position that he was in inside of blue? He was stuck with one guy pushing below, one guy aggressing in through garage, one guy on the window, and he still pulls off a kill. Nobody from MIBR are worried about him after that stage. They say, you know what, let him sit there. We'll just try and flood the bomb site, but then the kills start firing out. We'll see the replays. I think Psycho was able to get some kills from below. I might be mistaken, but we'll see where he got them from. But even still, it looks as if he was out of the game. He was separated from his team, still having a massive impact. That's first kill. You have to question Reduct. How did he not secure that?
Well, that diffuser was just a death trap. Anyone that seemed to have hold of it was falling.
From garage, he came up oil pit.
Unforgivable.
Oh, MIBR, a lot of mistakes, and well, it's cost you a 5-1.
It's certainly done something to fire up the team as well. You can see NIP very happy with that one. 1 round away from a match and series point. 2 rounds away from taking the whole thing. I believe we're just hitting a quick rehost here, as it does seem to be a problem, but I guess it gives MIBR another bit of an opportunity just to discuss and figure out what it is that's going wrong here, because Clubhouse is not going their way at all. A 1-5 split? I don't think that it's going to be that defend-decided, especially with the way the bans are.
The bans, all hard breachers being open. You know, I think sometimes we would see maps where like Habana has been banned alongside a Thatcher, and it's difficult, you know, stuck with a Maverick and a Thermite. You know, sometimes we see Thatcher and Maverick gone, and it makes it very difficult for breaches to be opened up. We're not having any of that. We've seen a Monty ban be forced by MIBR, so yeah, I don't know. It's just not looking good for them. I don't know what they're going to pull out, as now they have to go on the defense, and NIP get those attacks, and NIP, this is a good map for them whenever they're attacking.
Everything's just in their favour at the moment as well. They've got the momentum. They've got the final in their sights. You know, they're 2 rounds away from a 1-map advantage inside of the finals. That's massive.
Psycho stepped up big as well, and I think he's someone who I loved watching him play 2 days ago. He was so good, the best performance I've seen out of him, and he's continuing that form again. Everyone from NIP have woken up. You know, you look at the group stage, Pino, Muzi, hand in hand. But as the tournament has gotten longer, NIP just keep getting better and better and better. They're just getting that experience and that just leveling up every single step of the way.
I mean, Muzi's one of the lowest rated players currently inside of this series.
How many times have you said that before?
Not often. You know, but when you've got big performances being put in by Psycho and Pino, and, you know, we've got to give a bit of a nod as well to Kamikaze.
Well, we praised him. That standout round, making those moments happen whenever his team were in dire straits. He was able to grab the bull by the horns and drag it to the floor. Yeah, all credit to this NIP team. My dad wants NIP to win. So there you go. You've got Paul on your side, NIP.
Let's see if that is enough. We do have all the players in the lobby. We're going to be throwing it on in very shortly, just performing some checks, making sure everything is good to go. And then it is going to be a Church and Arsenal defense for MIBR, no doubt, as this is going to be their first round on the defense. We want to see what they have to show us here. Now, Mute Mozzie combo, bit of a roam, waste a bit of time, throw in a bit of intel as well with the Valkyrie. Okay, it's looking good. This could work quite well for MIB.
Good game plan. Good game plan. NIP, who struggle with the time, if you can really upset their information game, and that is typically where we see them struggle, and that's where Monty shows his face. If NIP are feeling that they don't have the information from the drones, they will find other alternatives. With this ban now that MIBR have went for, being the Monty, NIP have to rely on other forms outside of the shields.
They really do. We're going to see Raps waste no time and get straight on upstairs, no doubt. Find a few little cheeky camera spots. Construction's always usually a good bet. It's an area that is starved of information otherwise. You know, there's no defaults that really look on in that direction. The one default at the top of main can get taken out so easily, so you're going to want to try and have a little bit of information up there, and with the ceiling and the undulating surfaces, there's always a chance that a nice little camera gets placed in there. Inside a Logi as well, just to provide some intel on any hatch drops that may be coming on in. It's going to be something to assist the roamers. I like the confidence from MIBR. It would be really simple and really easy for them to say, look, we can stay in the site. This site is so defensible. There's power positions. We can just play, you know, we can play a Maestro. We can play some people like that are going to be able to give us the advantage in the site.
Echoes
Echoes
like
up.
that,
And instead, they're saying, no, we're going to take the roam game to him. It's do or die. We've got to be winning these engagements.
Exactly. That's it. Do or die. They need to. If this next round goes in NIP a 6-1, no way, in my books, NIP lose that lead. They clean that up. So MIBR need to hit the ground running on their defenses and pull out a mastery on Clubhouse, because that's what they need. Ollie, whoever loses this goes down into that lower bracket and miss out on the chance of being 1-0 up in the grand final.
The pressure now going to start to mount on these roamers as Felipox finds the opener. Raps able to provide the crucial information there from the Valkyrie camera. It's a nice little edge here, and it's going to be enough to see MIBR drop back. You can see them all hitting that construction hatch, through bar and down the main stairs.
And again, MIBR happy enough to take that one kill and just quickly retreat.
It shows a clear game plan.
It's good.
That's what I like about it.
Hit and run techniques. You know, they've got five-star wanted level. They're running away. They're trying to get out of there and see if they can find any more kills. And Redot ready with the shotgun. Psycho not expecting that one. 3 versus 5 now. And Ollie, we asked to see something from MIBR, and well, they've heard us.
It could be the start of something, that is for sure. Lukid going to double down and find a kill over onto Muzi. Julio nading out on the stairs, ends up pre-firing the body.
That's Psycho! Don't shoot him!
I mean, that's how jittery NIP are inside of these engagements. It's shaping up to be a flawless here as Julio is going to be the last man standing. He's being pre-fired as well. Felipox with the bullet holes on Ash Rush spot. A flawless round for MIBR. They could not have asked for more inside of that round.
That's what we wanted. That's the MIBR that we need to see now. They have that round. We know what they can do. Do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then win the map and go on to the grand final. It's a lot to ask for, I know that, but this little team from Brazil, Ollie, can do that.
They truly can. 3 rounds is all that stands between them and leveling things up. 4 rounds to get themselves into match point, 5 rounds to take the whole thing. That's going to do a lot for them there in terms of confidence.
Yeah.
They had such a clear strategy and a clear plan. I really liked the fact that they roamed with that aggression. And it's a comment we've made before. I'm going to make it again right now. Calculated aggression. It isn't blind. It isn't reckless. They're not players that are just running out there for the sake of it. They've got a clear plan and a clear strategy of what they want to achieve when they are out there making these aggressive plays. 1 kill was all it took. 1 kill, and all 3 players in unison drop the hatch and get themselves down onto site.
MIBR, next round for you guys, it will be that cash room lineup. Nothing out of the ordinary. I think that's pretty standard in terms of what we expect from them. That Wamai is a must pick in my eyes. I think for the garage hold that is going to be coming in from them, you need to have that operator ready to rock and roll. NIP, only 1 set of nades from Julio, but they're making up for it with the pick of a Capital, which is probably the easiest way that you can clear out rafters. If you hit 1 arrow into where Lukid is right now, which is called 2, because it's kind of numbered off. If you actually look at Garage, it has 1, 2, and 3. That's the call-outs that the teams use. If you hit an arrow in 2, that guy's trapped. He's dead, because that will force him either into the crossfire that a man will be holding onto the garage door, or to the crossfire of the man on the breach.
It's kind of an interesting decision not to reinforce the bottom of Garage as well, as just gives another easy angle in for these attackers. And as you say, when Capital is being brought, those asphyxiating bolts that get fired off onto the rafters can be very difficult to try and deal with.
That's a good spot by Muzi. Sees both of them in rafters, so now they're able to notice, hey, we're dealing with a double setup. But now they know the locations. 1 guy in the window, and I mean, Fowls, it's a very difficult spot. It's more exposed, and you have to be careful.
I mean, Fowls could get taken out quite easily here if the firebolt does land, depending obviously on any of the magnets that are going to be in place. Instead gets smoked on off, and then the firebolt comes out. He has to hit the deck and make the drop. Psycho able to find that rotation kill. There's some good coordination there on the side of MIBR to clear out at least one of the players, but Lukid remains.
He's Wamai. He can constantly make those discs and try and save himself with only 1 more fire arrow. Psycho has to make it count. And speaking of Psycho, perhaps challenging onto the double door, and yes, he will try and go for it as Raps has been droned out. Reduct trying to give that cover as the Kite, and NIP happy enough to slow it down. They got their pick that they needed, but they need to find that kill onto the second player of Rafters.
This could be big here for Redux. He's going to go for a bit of a run out. We do see players downed in the process. Lukid finds the frag there. All important kill onto the diffuser carrier. With a minute left, it's going to put the pressure here on. Muzi gets the trade. That's now going to render the diffuser able to be recovered as Raps' little run out didn't net him any success. An equal 3 versus 3 here. Psycho now with full garage control. He can look to progress on up and challenge onto the window. He knows there's going to be a player at the top of the cache stairs and aggressively pushes his way on through. He's looking for gunfights here, and he is out for blood, pushing his way all the way up onto the cache door. Felipox does take down Muzi, so for the time being, MIBR can breathe a sigh of relief, but they don't have a great deal left in terms of denial. Felipox, he takes down Psycho. There's still a C4 in hand, but it won't be required. Reduct, he holds on, and MIBR will hold on for one more round.
NIP look to have a great start. What we expect from the Capitao, dumping that utility. But they could not deal with Lukid, who did incredible. 2 kills from that position was enough to slow down NIP. It got rid of their soft destruction. And as we've seen, as they went up to Rafters, they had to jump through the window. They didn't have the rotation hole open, which costed them. I think they were also hesitant. There was nobody playing below from NIP, so they were worried that they could have been C4'd. That's why we've seen Psycho not automatically go for the diffuser. He tried to push in aggressively, try and hunt for a kill, but in the end, it just wasn't good enough. MIBR were happy enough to sit back, and NIP were really panicking into those final few seconds.
They were lacking crucial information there, weren't they, in the dying moments as to where everybody was. Lukid played a blinder on the Rafters as well. Fouls may have fallen there, but Lukid remained. The power of those magnets, the power of Wamai being able to keep him alive and, of course, hit his shots and find 2 kills.
And Rafters is so difficult. You know, there's at least 5 different angles that you get killed from. Someone pushing in from the breach below. One guy on the main breach on security garage wall. Below, inside of the lounge door. So many different angles, and he's done extremely well to pull off 2 kills for his trouble. MIBR, 2 rounds in a row. Ollie, what do we think? Is it possible?
If they make it 3, they then have the confidence, they then know that they can win in every single site. That's when things start to become quite dangerous for NIP, because a 4-5 looks quite doable. There's no clear winner inside of that one.
What do you think about, you know, we talked about the Panic Monty. Panic Ying, perhaps? Does that have the same ring to it?
We've sometimes seen the Ying brought along with the Monty as like an all-out and out disruption lineup. It could be enough. It does all depend on how it gets played, and to a degree how MIBR are looking to play, because you can't really use the Ying unless people are going to be bunched up and looking to hold powerful locations.
So all being opened up on Jacuzzi, no surprise, but once again, similar to what NIP went for, MIBR also going to fully reinforce the bathroom, but the difference is they don't have any denial. They did not bring the Kite, which was very easy now, as you can see, for NIP to open up that bathroom. And MIBR in a very bad position with that much early control off the bomb site in favor of NIP. They're really relying on these deployable shields, but as we can see on NIP, they have the soft destruction. They have nades from Julio. They have Muzi with his lifeline. They have plenty of utility still left in the tank.
This has just got post-plant written all over it, hasn't it? You just know that Kamikaze is going to get himself in very shortly and look to try and plant that diffuser. Reduct holding a pretty hard angle there, looking to try and stave off the push. Psycho, he has the Candela cooked. It's going to detonate almost instantly, and he pushes in off the back of it, finding Reduct. Doesn't manage to get the second, though, as Fouls shuts him down on that approach. Still cautious and conscious of the hatch into logistics. Fouls can't rest on his laurels off the back of one singular kill, as the advantage here is still with NIP. Kamikaze looking now to confirm the plant, but the C4 will deny from below, at least enough to down Kamikaze. That's going to do quite a lot here for NIP to slow down their push. Pino now looking to make his way through. He's inside of cash. He needs to get through construction and into logistics really to have a significant impact here. Lukid going to be holding the hard angle, but isn't aware of Pino's presence. Fouls hits himself on for a double kill, as it's now a 2 versus 3. Fouls has gone massive. He's on for the ace here. Pino is the only player that stands between him and said ace. 35 seconds left to play. A lot of time really for both players to be working with. Felipox could come and try and support as well. There's live ping information rotation as the shotgun's fired out. A full white flash player.
Oh!
It's going to be enough. Fouls! He hits the ace. He was full white flash in that circumstance.
Look at his face. Bodega can't believe it. What an ace from fouls. He had a blinder of a game already on Consulate, and Clubhouse is doing the same. Oh, oh, this is all you could want from a series between these two teams.
No surprise to see a timeout used by NIP right now. They need to try and compose themselves and bring themselves back, because they are letting round after round slip through their fingers.
NIP, again, I come back to it, looked very good in that opening portion, having everything going for them. One big thing that changed the entire dynamic, believe it or not, wasn't fouls as good as he did. It was the C4 from below. That is what neutralized the initial defuse. And whenever that happens, whenever NIP don't have things going their way, like we've talked about, everything slows down. Everything breaks in the NIP camp. And I think that was shown there. We've seen the panic. You know, Pino had to make, again, one of those hero plays by himself. Sure, he might have picked up one guy who wasn't even looking in his direction, but still, in the end, it didn't matter.
Yeah, 2 more players to get through. The diffuser was on the ground on the other side of the site. It was never going to be an easy challenge there for Pino to make.
It is surprising. I mean, 2 NIP players actually trying to go for the kills, like trying to aggress, instead of just picking up the diffuser again and pretty much planting in the same position. Only 1 C4 from below, that's the only thing they should have worried about. NIP seem to have the thought process, if they lose Kamikaze, no one else can plant the bomb.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
A tough round for NIP. Now they get to go somewhere they've been before. They have just taken a timeout, so hopefully they've discussed how they want to try and deal with this site. We're seeing the same lineup be employed here by MIBR, as they've gone for the classic Mute Mozzie Vigil. They're going to get out there, they're going to be on the roam, they're going to use the intel that Raps provides on those Valkyrie cameras. They're going to try and get an opening kill, and then they're going to try and get back to site. If all of those things are achieved, it's going to be very difficult for NIP, as was demonstrated in round number 7.
So, MIBR doing that full rotation. And that means they have to go downstairs now, as Cash is locked out alongside the gym and the bedroom. What have MIB got in store for us again, Ollie? Seems to be this kind of Vigil, Mute, Mozzie Roam, the classic strategy that we've seen develop on Clubhouse a very long time ago, is once again coming out. NIP need to make sure that Kamikaze stays alive. That is the man that we're looking towards. You need to have Hibana for the potential of opening up the hatches. Kind of fell in that trap again, and Reduct just finds an early death. Psycho in a great position just to hold off the crosses, and they've been gifted a very early kill. NIP, that's exactly what they were hunting for.
Redux was involved in all but 1 of the opening engagements in the first half of this game. 2 of them he was first blood, 3 of them he got the kill. But being taken out here and now again, it seems he's cursed almost with this site, as he plays the Hibana on attack and was regularly taken out. First blood on this site as well when they were on the attack, so obviously getting himself into the wrong position at the wrong time. And it's going to leave MIBR a little bit short here, short of the C4 and short of a player in the moment.
So like last time, MIBR obviously setting up for that roam game, but they have fallen off a lot quicker than they did the last. And the difference is as well, they did not net a kill from it. That hit and run technique has not worked for them. They've been caught, and that has gave early advantage into NIP. NIP on this attack, with everyone being alive, they can open up everything that they need and then coordinate their attack. With NIP having this opening kill, that could be the difference maker.
I'll have to see how they exploit that advantage, because they still have a lot of key things to try and do here. There's going to be a pre-placed C4 on the floor of Kitchen. I'm not sure if it did maybe get destroyed there by the skeleton key just coming on through. An impact to destroy 1 set of its Kairos pellets, but as we've mentioned, Demo,
plenty more, yeah.
It's a fruitless endeavor. You are always going to be able to get that hatch open as Hibana. In this day and age, it's going to be very seldom that you're unable to do so. And with that, the hatch will be getting unopened. Info gathered as well. As with no kill out there on the roam and instead suffering the opening death, it's going to make things very difficult here when the pressure starts to come in. Psycho, he's going to be on side of main stairs looking to try and make an impact. Moves through into Memorial. Hit your shots, please. Does find the kill over onto Felipox. It puts him on a double for the round as the kills continue to trade. Fowls and Lukid are stepping up big, and Julio is going to shut Fowls down. Has a nade and has a chance, tosses it on through into blue, but Raps and Lukid are doing too well. Raps will find the final two. MIBR continue the streak here on defense, not letting up an inch.
They're doing it. They're making it happen. All of a sudden, all the confidence of that half, that 5-1 half from NIP has been shattered. The reality now for NIP is they are on the back foot. They are the team that are not up to standards, and MIBR have that morale, they have that confidence, and most importantly, the momentum.
We spoke at the start of this map demo about how it is not attacker or defender sided yet. We have seen one round won by the attackers. What is going on here?
I think it's down to a case of the teams just really struggling to get their coordination down. And I think it plays into what we've seen from Coastline, that is carrying on. The defenders are not afraid to have a swing. And that's what we're seeing. The kills, again, back and forth, trading out. That has been the difference. They're playing Clubhouse as if it's Coastline.
MIBR with the advantage here. I know that the scoreboard is 5-0, but you've got to remember how we got until this point. MIBR exited their attacking phase at 1 round to 5. NIP have struggled to respond for 4 consecutive rounds. And being honest, we've only seen one round that was, air quotes, close.
Yeah.
And it was a 1 versus 2 for Pino to try and clutch. So this isn't a case of it's on a knife's edge. As much as the scoreline may look like it is, we're seeing these attacking rounds from NIP failing at multiple hurdles. They can get the opening kill. It doesn't make a difference. They've had that in the past 3 rounds, and they've still not been able to capitalize.
NIP just cursed an attack. Absolutely cursed. They need to break that curse right now, or else they may go 6-5 down if they lose this round, which could be a massive possibility. The cash take for MIBR was great. You have to give credit to Lukid. Being able to find 2 kills on the rafters was phenomenal. One change from NIP is they've sacked off the Capital, which was a great way for him to net an early kill onto rafters. Now they're missing out on that utility.
It's not an area you can afford to ignore either. You need to have presence and
especially with their take, yeah.
Have eyes and options onto that catwalk. Lukid going to be playing there again. He was able to pick up 2 last time before he was taken down, and look at how much safety he has around him. Plenty of magnets to catch any throwables that come on through. Muzi going to try and actually land one of the lifelines onto him. It's going to stun him for a time, but no one there to push off the back of it.
NIP, what are you up to? Stacking up outside of Garage, stacking up outside of the breach as well. Look at the Whammy discs. Triple stacked, ready to save Lukid at a moment's notice. He has to be careful though, can't be moving about whenever there are so many different angles, but Lukid still wins it out on the rafters. You do not challenge him in this position. He is so strong, and he is stepping up massively for his team. NIP finally will deal with him. But still, having that opening kill has wasted some soft destruction. They've eliminated Psycho's had a great game. MIBR, just say thank you to Lukid. He pulled off a blinder of a kill.
Puts the pressure on to NIP, because despite that garage control, with the way that we see MIBR positioned here, they've got themselves deep into cash. Now they're doing that because they have 2 C4s to work with and 2 Toxic Babe canisters left. So even if NIP are able to make ingress through, it's still going to be quite difficult. There is information for Pino, and if he wins this engagement downstairs, he could look to try and work vertically and assist his team. 2 kills will go in favor of NIP as they look to lock in a match point, but no, the fight back is there. Felipox and Fowls, they managed to find a couple of kills. Fowls is going to be now in the 1 versus 2 as he aggresses on up. Doesn't look to be working off all too much intel. Muzi's going to be the next man on his hit list, and he finds him, and with it the diffuser, the C4 gets tossed on out, but Pino gets out of the way in time. It's going to be a head-to-head gunfight. Pino's going to win it. NIP, match and a series point.
Massive stuff from Pino. Found 1 kill from below on a Felipox. Rushes up the stairs, wins his gunfight where his teammate could not. NIP still still in it. And they take the lead once again. 6-5, match point, series point for NIP. That's the attack that they needed. MIBR need a response.
MIBR need to take us to overtime here. They're going to go to gym and bedroom to try and do so. Not opting to retry their attempt in CCTV room and cash. Things went well for them for a time. This push from Pino was just a bit too good. There was a question mark as to why that wasn't double pushed at the time, but Pino redeemed himself and some, because he was then able to go down and take Reduct down from downstairs, and all of that was just too much of a pressurizing situation. He was one of the last players alive as well.
See how he killed Fleapox?
I didn't realize that came through as a skeleton key in the heat of the moment, then makes the rotation up. Without Pino inside of that round, drastically different.
Pino, just right place, right time for that kill on Fleapox, which was the most important one. You know, that smoke in that scenario can really punish you with that shotgun that we've already seen kind of happen inside of this matchup. So, yeah, Pino steps up again for his team. NIP, 1 round away from getting back into the grand final.
5 seconds to go.
MIBR, their first competition inside of Six Invitational. Never been to one before for the 5 players that you see. This would mean everything to them. But right now, not looking too pretty. 1 round away from being sent down to that lower bracket. NIP, can they pull off this round?
MIBR have changed some things up here. They've brought the Cade. It was a question that we asked last time that there wasn't enough denial on the wall, you know, jacuzzi wall, and I had to stop speaking there because if that had gone off, I think the room would have exploded. But not enough denial on that jacuzzi wall and that bathroom wall as well. Now you've got the Cade Electroclaw on the bathroom wall. It's just going to limit the progress a little bit, and it's going to mean that it comes down to less of a clutch situation for poor old Fowls to find himself in. Fowls, of course, got the ace last time that we saw this defended by MIBR.
NIP going for the run-of-the-mill take in towards Jacuzzi. Open up that Maverick, but like you mentioned, Ollie, that Kite is going to be the difference maker. It means NIP just cannot get into the bomb site as quick as what they would have done. No Thermite, though, from Kamikaze. Instead, Habana going to be their option. Pino on that buck once again. I mean, the way he's playing, you wouldn't want to take him off it. Playing extremely well with the C8. If he can net, again, another 1 kill here, 2 kills there. Could be great for NIP. This information, though, from Lukid, equally very important. Psycho opens up with the first kill. It's going to be on to Raps the Goyo. Gone a C4 out of the back pocket as well.
Losing a little bit of valuable information there as well, as Lukid is over inside of Cash, looking maybe to peek out on that CCTV window. Maybe make a challenge over onto Muzi. It's going to be being held by Pino as well, though, so NIP really setting themselves up for success here. It feels as though Lukid's tempted for a bit of a run out, but he just knows that he can't risk it at this moment in time. There is still too many eyes present watching him.
We're ready for a bit of a rumble. NIP still gearing up. They've opened up bathroom, Ollie, which is very important. Fleapox, so battles back, finds the kill from below, and now he is still an issue for NIP. He has the C4 in hand, and we've seen what happened the last time NIP tried to go for a plant. It did not work for them. This time, I think they're going to realize that. Never mind, Muzi has decided to jump in, and it's cost him. Fowls is able to shut him down. NIP once again falling apart. They cannot attack this gym. NIP all down to Julio, and Fowls in that position. He doesn't lose those. Overtime is where we're headed. MIBR refuse to be kicked to the curb. They're still standing.
It is all going to come down to this overtime. Bodega is hyped. MIBR and NIP not letting up an inch. Neither team able to find any consistency here on the attack. 2 attacking rounds is all that we have seen won here on Clubhouse today. And yes, that is with a Monty ban. It is not what we expected by no stretch of the imagination. NIP there, you could tell that they were moving cautiously. You could tell that they were moving a little bit timidly. MIBR, they were standing firm for that fight. They were ready for whatever was going to be thrown at them. The patience that we saw some of these players showing. You know, think about Lukid in the way that he played. How many times could he have swung onto Muzi on that balcony? How many times could he have been taken out by Pino? But instead, he just plays his life to the bitter end takes down Pino. As the push has to come in, the six-man stepping in a little bit there to help MIBR out, as time was the hand on the back of the NIP players, forcing them to move forward. MIBR get that all-important defense here as well. That could be a massive foreshadowing demo.
Yes, definitely, with MIBR having that defensive half. Something that we've seen be featured inside of FaZe versus Liquid. Whenever a team has that overtime pressure, where they have the starting side that has been so dominant for both teams, then we would like to favor MIBR just off the back of that. NIP going for that triple hard breach again. Pino off that buck, Kamikaze back on his Thermite. Correct play, probably expecting the basement, which, as we know, you need that triple hard breach. Being able to open up everything. MIBR, a bit aggressive in the roam game. It's not as in-depth as what we've seen beforehand with the Vigil and the Mozzie and the Mute be brought. This is much more of a loose roam game. Just try and maybe get one kill Lucan, and then he'll run away immediately.
Raps has that active information as well, as he did have a pocket Valkyrie camera there just to assist him somewhat. It's always a hot spot that you're going to get pushed in on those blue stairs. Kitchen hatch going to begin to get opened here as one pellet is deployed onto it.
Just fearing the impact tricking, I suppose.
Only 2 impacts here for MIBR. Redux is going to be playing the Maestro, which is going to enable him to impact trick once, but it isn't going to be enough. We weren't really expecting that hatch to stay closed for any significant length of time. As long as Pino is alive on the server, he's going to be able to get in and get the job done. Yeah,
Habana is just so strong with the changes to the pellets. If we were dealing with a Habana ban, then it would be much more difficult for teams to open up that kitchen hatch. You know, heck, I've seen Habana bans and then the enemy team run 6 impacts already. You know, that's how hungry teams are to deny access to that kitchen hatch. But it has been opened, so NIP setting up the correct way as what we expect them to. The issue for me last time, Ollie, was the pressure in blue. It wasn't enough. I think if they can enable perhaps a 2-man pronged, you know, one coming from oil pit, one pushing down the staircase, and being able to eliminate that player behind the generator, they'll be in a much better position, because that blue gives you the options to go into church or go into armory.
The real advantage that NIP have is that they haven't suffered a death early on.
Yeah.
We're now into the 50-second mark, and still we've got everybody alive. There's plenty of utility available on both sides, but there is only 1 C4 left for Raps. Still some Toxic Babe canisters that can be used to try and deny a little bit of this push, but it looks as though Church Wall is going to be open for the first time here. Raps going to be playing behind the bar, looking to maybe spring up and take the element of surprise. Julio going to be looking to push in through Memorial as well, but Fowls, he's going to be playing aggressive onto this. No, he doesn't see him. He does! He finds Kamikaze, gets the shotgun, he's on top of the box. Fowls, how have you gotten away with this? He finds himself 2 kills.
Fowls, unbelievable play, just swings the breach. Kills 2 players in NIP. Oh my word, they've been caught out again. Fowls, the monster. NIP trying their best. Pino has to find 2 in 5 seconds, but look who's waiting for him. Fowls is ready, and he gets it again. Bottega. Oh, he's loving it. He loves Fowls. Who doesn't love Fowls?
Fowls has played a blinder there. That is the 2nd time that we have seen that player in the face of immediate danger. Instead of turn tail and take time, he has run head on toward it. Think about Coastline Demo. He ran towards Service Store. He gets 2 kills up close and personal on the breach. That is almost exactly the same scenario. He has run through the church breach. He's all but pushed poor old Felipox out of the way. He said, get out of my way. I want to get through there.
We were watching Raps for the longest of time. You know, he was behind the bar trying to hold the breach, and all of a sudden, I just see a smoke wander past him with a shotgun, peeking left and right, and then just the right moment to hit it. NIP, that should have been covered. Let's be honest, Ollie, that should not be allowed to happen. And NIP, these minor mistakes is what's costing them. And at this level of competition, it is the minor mistakes that separate the good teams from the great teams.
This is now a match point here for MIBR. If you have only just joined us or you forgot what happened in the first part of this game, they were down bad. They had 1 round to NIP's 5.
What a comeback.
This has been the most defender-sided clubhouse I can remember in recent memory. 2 rounds only going toward the attackers. If that trend continues and we do go all the way, MIBR will get 2 chances to defend here in overtime. So statistically, as this game is the sample, it is likely here that MIBR come away with the win, if not in this round, but in the next.
Yeah, that defense being the standout right now for both sides. The attack not favoring them, but then again, both teams have taken an attacking round. What's to say MIBR, with the confidence that they have, cannot take an attack this time around? That hatch has not been reinforced for NIP, and Pino below with a nitro cell. What's he ready for? What's he expecting? I mean, probably knowing MIBR, they'll still just use a Habana pellet. You know, not to be lost of that, so...
You don't want to risk the breaching charge, really, do you?
You might do it.
You kind of worry for Luke a little bit here.
Luke could go for the breaching charge, but could have a nasty surprise waiting for him. Just see how it plays out. Here we go. He moves in, and please don't say it. Oh! Oh!
Hesitation.
He's just holding it. Oh.
Significant hesitation there from Pino.
Reducto finds the opening pick all in. That could be massive. MIBR with the upper hand now on the attack. Muzi still lurking on that vigil. He needs to go big. Julio, has he been droned? Yes, he has. Fowls has got that information. NIP, this is looking worrisome for them. They're down a man. The roamers have been spotted out, and there is an onslaught of MIBR coming towards them.
Redo does get himself taken down there, which is very unfortunate. I don't think he's been able to get kitchen hatch open just yet. There's a comment that we've made multiple times now as kills continue to go in NIP's favor. Muzi, he finds one onto Luke, and he's going to get himself into another engagement here, but Fowls comes out better, finding that headshot and some damage over onto Julio. But Julio's aggressively pushing round. Is Fowls going to be ready for this? Shots are being exchanged. That's Diffuser on the ground. Julio, the C4 stuck to the wall. It is going to matter because Felipox hops his way on in, taking him down, recovering the Diffuser and bringing us to a 2 versus 2. Felipox, he doesn't have a lot of health to speak of. Now is the time to gather the information. Now is the time to formulate this final push, but with the tools that NIP have at their disposal, it is heavily weighted that they will come away with this round.
MIBR up against Kamikaze and Pino. The dual SMGs waiting for them. They will now open up that memorial hatch, and Felipox, perhaps thinking of diving into blue, will eliminate that Banshee. But I think at this stage, Ollie, need to try and double up and stick together as a team, and especially with Felipox, one inhale of that smoke, he's gone. They need to play this to perfection, but it's very, very difficult.
When you say that, there's only one smoke left, and it is going to get used right about now. It's going to cut off blue for a couple more moments. We've seen Felipox clutch before. Can he do it here when the odds are just so great? Raps has pushed himself on in, finds the frag over onto Pino. It's now all down to Kamikaze. There's 3 seconds left. Felipox did recover the diffuser, and is going to have to try and stick it. Kamikaze, he's going to aggress on through. He's inside a Memorial, takes the challenge. Can he win out the gunfight? Yes, he can. We're going all the way. Kamikaze! He's kept NIP in this. We're going to go to maximum overtime.
Kamikaze flies through Moto into the bomb site, picks up the double kill via the collateral. This is what dreams are made of for NIP. They never make it easy for them. Every match they play, it looks so bad, and all of a sudden, bang, a clutch out of nowhere, and it's turned the entire match on its head. 7-7, max OT in the final map. Oh my word, Ollie, get me a chair. I need to take a sit. I need to sit down, Ollie. I'm about to collapse.
Infinite OT, anyone?
Oh no, thank you. I can't go on.
I mean, this is one of the games that really you would need it for, because there isn't a lot separating these two guys right now. I really thought that they were going to be able to pull it off there, but just the stack up, the way that the two players instantly behind each other, Kamikaze holding his nerve, hitting his shots. 7-7 is where we find ourselves. This means so much to both of these teams.
Oh.
Reminder of what is at stake here.
What am I seeing?
It's not only a spot inside of the grand finals tomorrow, but it is a spot with a 1-map advantage inside of the best of 5.
Right, do you want to talk about the elephant in the room?
We're going
to
have to address it at some point, Demo. Why don't you enlighten us?
Oh, there's a Tachanka. Okay. So, MIBR, they do realize that this is the final round for a chance in the grand final with a 1-map advantage, and they thought, yeah, let's bring the Lord. If the Lord clutches up, it will be a very big highlight just to showcase this operator, but as of recent times, he has not been the strongest. It's been very difficult to see any play from his launcher. Those Molotov grenades haven't had the biggest impact as what everyone thought at the beginning whenever the rework happened for him, which seems like ages ago now. But we'll see if MIBR can make it work. And hey, I mean, it's Fals. He's been playing exceptionally well today, being the highlight player for MIBR. Can he make this operator work?
I think with the way that MIBR lean into that cash hold, they're looking to try and have as much denial as possible. And, you know, you can bring C4s for that, you can bring smokes. They have both of those things, but they also now have the Tachanka. And with the position that we see Fals playing in, he's obviously got quite a specific plan. That shield went down very purposefully. The Goyo there that's going to be at the top of the stairs, it will now be destroyed. He is able to keep himself safe from the splash radius of the fire.
Luke it again in that same position. He's netted a kill every time he's been here before, Aldi. Let's see if he can find another one. Plenty of utility for MIBR. You know, the Goyo shields are there. You have just a regular shield from Philippok, so plenty of stuff that NIP need to take in consideration and try and eliminate. We have seen Philippok's play extremely well inside of Cash, having that deployable shield with the holes being opened up in the Cash wall. He can toss his smokes out from there, and Luke hit again. Another kill is netted from that catwalk. He does get finished off, Ollie, but still finds a kill, and it's a Ying. Big operator.
It's a big impact operator. We've not really seen the full benefit of the Ying when Psycho's been bringing it because MIBR have played around it so perfectly. Garage control now will be given up though, and I've got a feeling this is where we may see why the Tachanka has been brought. We've got Fals. He's going to be playing behind the deployable shield at the top of Cash stairs, and he's going to be looking to try and make some sort of a use of it. There is going to be pressure coming in below. Pino, instead of being on the book, is going to be on the sledge and makes the nade land. He knows that he's got the player down. A second nade going to come in and likely finish off the player as the shots ring through the wall. Kamikaze will secure the kill. 4 versus 3 now in favor of NIP. Fals, he's got to show us what he means with this Tachanka now, as it really needs to stick.
It does. NIP slowly progressing into the bomb site as much as they can, starting to creep in through the rafters. More Molotovs being tossed out, but with 40 seconds, this is where NIP can now go for the defuse. Kamikaze trying to bait it from below, maybe just baiting out anything that he can. More Molotovs trying to sanction off that area off the breach. A stun goes in, and Julio starts to creep up the back stairs. The alarm goes off, but nobody's home for MIBR. NIP have taken the bomb site by storm. Fals has managed to get a kill with a Molotov, but Philippok is all by himself, and he has no hope for salvaging it for MIBR. NIP finally get the attack they're looking for, and they book themselves into the grand final.
NIP will advance there with a 1-map advantage into our grand finals tomorrow. Look at just how much this means for the team. That was not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. MIBR stood up tall there inside of that grueler. It took all available rounds in the last map, all 3 maps, to determine who was the better team out of these two. But NIP are your team, your first team that will be locked in to tomorrow's finals. Whew. What a game, Demo.
All credit NIP. This is their year. This is their chance to win, have that redemption. Runners up last year, and now they're back into that grand final for a 2nd year running. MIBR not out yet. Ollie, they're still in the competition. They will go on to play the winner of Liquid versus TSM. But, I mean, all credit, MIBR played extremely well. Plenty of highlights for them. Let's see if they can bounce back.
Let's. We're going to throw it over to the experts. They're going to have a lot of fun breaking down that grueling game.
Wow. I mean, incredible. I really hope everybody watching at home could hear what's going on. You could see it 100% on the camera, and it is on the players and what's happening. All 3 of us were standing here pretty much